This is another episode of Built From Nothing podcast. I'm your host, Sean. Unfortunately, we couldn't have Nell here today, but I'm here with a special guest, the inside-out, versatile, tough, Chyna Latimer. 3 state titles. Walk me through those 3 seasons of basically being the best team in the city at the time.
Kind of starting off at Patterson Mill, I went in as a 3 guard, but I was asked to kind of change my position and adapt a little more to being the 4. That was definitely something new for me, and honestly, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to kind of take on that position just because I played the 3 guard all my life. So kind of starting off freshman year, she put me in there, and I actually excelled at it. I did really well as far as rebounding. I'm pretty sure I averaged a double-double as a freshman. And kind of through that, she just encouraged me to step outside of my box, and that's kind of like what led to me being very versatile.
1,494 points.
Not a lot of players in high school get a chance to score 1,000 points, let alone more than 1,000. So definitely having that trust and just the close relationship that I had with my high school coach, just having that throughout high school helped me a whole lot, and that helped build my confidence and kind of made me the basketball player that I am today. So through her, I was able to achieve that goal.
Was it any year that was tougher than the other? Or did you feel like y'all just dominated the whole, each year y'all won the state title?
I would definitely say every year was kind of tough, kind of coming back after winning a state title, the first one. Everybody's thinking like, oh, can they do it again? Because Patterson Mill kind of came from nowhere. We weren't really on the map. So kind of our team, Coach Holly, helped put us on the map. And it was just kind of like, oh, maybe they got like it was a fluke. But coming back every year and being able to be consistent with that and just perform on a daily basis was definitely something that was challenging. And then also my junior year, a lot of our seniors graduated, and that kind of was a wake-up call. We had a lot of young players as well who joined the team, and players who played lacrosse, different sports. So it was kind of like, oh, we don't know what we're going to look like this year.
For sure.
And that year was definitely challenging. I think in our regional championship game, we faced, I think they were Forestville. They were a really great team, but the school ended up getting shut down after that year. But yeah, we kind of knew that was going to be a challenge, and kind of when we got to that game, we ended up losing that game, unfortunately. But that kind of was a wake-up call to us, just letting us know, like, next year we have to go that much harder, because we wanted to get another state title. We already had 2 by then, and it was kind of like, all right, like, we could get a 3rd one this year. But once we stepped into that game and the outcome wasn't what we wanted, we kind of had to go back, reevaluate for next year.
Was it recruiting? Was it happening while you was winning these state titles?
I would say in Hartford County, public school is definitely hard to recruit. Basketball, it's big. It's getting a lot bigger out there now, but kind of when I was in high school, it wasn't the main sport.
Right.
It wasn't something that everybody's like, oh, I'm going to go to a public school in Hartford County to go play basketball. So recruiting was a little tough. My first college was the George Washington University. That recruiting process started off during AAU, like any normal, regular athlete. I had a couple of different offers, but George Washington stuck out to me. I wanted to stay closer to home. I love the school. I love the city. And I just I like the culture that they were building there. So that's kind of where I started off my first 2 years of my journey through college basketball. And I'm not going to lie, it was tough. That's kind of why I ended up putting my name in the transfer portal.
Any specific reason why you left George Washington?
I just kind of felt like we had a little bit of a coaching change throughout the staff, and I just felt like it wasn't something that I wanted for my 4-year experience. So I kind of decided that, it's going to be risky. The grass might not always be greener on the other side, but I wanted to take a chance on myself and on my talents. So I decided to transfer, and I transferred to the University of Delaware and kind of start my journey there.
The University of Delaware, now it's a whole different conference.
Yeah, completely different conference.
Whole different conference. And would you say is a little more competitive?
Yeah, I would definitely say don't sleep on the CAA. A lot
Yeah,
of
for
people
sure.
are like, mid majors, but
I know.
the CAA is something different. I
Hmm.
think even in like the wins that these CAA schools are racking up, I think that's waking everybody up.
Oh, for
We've
sure.
had, I played with Jasmine Dickey, so we had a lot of great talent coming. I think that's just waking people up to like, okay, it doesn't have to be a Power Five school
Right.
for it to be something like special. So I think the CAA definitely was a great conference, and the game was just competitive there. The transfer rule was still
Hmm.
there, so I had to redshirt and sit out a year.
Right.
But I was kind of determined, and I committed to myself to getting in the gym. I wanted to start all like I guess the rest of my career at University of Delaware, so that was definitely a goal for me. I wanted to start have an impact. So I kind of took that year personal since I couldn't play, and I just every time we stepped into practice, I always went hard like I was playing, like I'm trying to earn a spot to play
Hmm.
on the court, even though that year I had to sit out. But yeah, I kind of just got in my bag and I just grinded it out.
I mean, it benefited you because you helped lead them to 24 wins and 5 losses.
Yeah, that was an amazing season.
That was an amazing season. Why didn't you stay at the University of Delaware? Why did you transfer?
So I ended up transferring from the University of Delaware. Kind of the same. The coaching staff and the coaching style was amazing at the University of Delaware, but for me, I kind of wanted a bigger part of the pie. I was a starter um, throughout Delaware. The time I played, the 1 year that I played, just because I transferred the 1 year, so I couldn't play. But I started all season, and it wasn't that I was unhappy. It was just I knew for myself and the player that I am and that I wanted to be, I wanted more.
Hmm.
So I wanted more of opportunity. I wanted to kind of go to a team where I can have a major impact on right away. And then I kind of decided to enter my name into the transfer portal again and just take a bet on myself and my skills.
Was it easier? Was it more difficult the second time that you put your name in the transfer portal?
I would definitely say it was probably about the same.
Okay.
I had some coaches who recruited me from the first couple times before college, and then after I transferred from George Washington, they reached out to me. But I would say trying to really find a program where I feel like fit me, and kind of was like down to earth and very genuine. Because a lot of times kids go on these visits to get wrapped up on like, oh, like this is going to be amazing, like what the coaches are selling them, or maybe even what the conference is like. So they get wrapped into that.
Hmm.
I kind of took this year like personal, like I wanted to find something that was a perfect fit for China. And I feel like Ball State definitely gave me that opportunity.
You go to Ball State. Walk me through, that experience as a fifth year, because now you trying to get your graduate's degree, right?
Ball State, I will definitely say the Midwest is a little different. It took some adjusting, but going into graduate school, I knew that it was going to be a little bit harder.
Hmm.
Graduate school is no joke. So, kind of going into that and having a different class schedule, having classes at like 6 to 9, but also having, well, 6 to 9 p.m., but also having like practice the next day at 6 a.m., which is kind of an adjustment that I had to get used to. But I definitely feel like and that was also my first time being far away from home. George Washington and University of Delaware were both like an hour or less from home. So this time I was about 10 hours away from home.
Hmm.
So I feel like that experience and that journey that I had there definitely helped me grow a lot as a person, not only as a basketball player, but definitely as a person.
College career over, long college career, right?
Yeah.
College career over, and now you're looking at possibly playing as a professional. Take me through that journey.
So it's honestly a little funny. Tez knows this story, but so after I graduated from Ball State with my master's degree, I kind of was like, I don't know if basketball, if I still want to keep doing it. Like, I know I have the passion there for basketball,
Hmm.
but I just felt like kind of my journey was long, like you said, for college. And I was just kind of, I wanted to get into my field, get into like a career job. So at the time, I was definitely looking to pursue that. And I would say as time went on, it was about maybe 4 months. I was just like watching different teams like get ready for preseason and different stuff like that. And I kind of decided that I wanted to take a shot at playing overseas. I had a lot of friends that ended up going to play overseas, and kind of speaking with them, they're like, China, you can do this. I think you'd be great at it, and I think you would love the experience. So I kind of reached out to Tez, and I was like, hey, I know it's been a while since I've gotten in the gym with you.
For sure.
Honestly, I haven't touched a ball in a couple of months. I stayed active as far as like working out, but touching a ball wasn't something I was doing on a consistent basis. But yeah, he was all in, and we got in the gym together. I only had like maybe a couple of weeks to get ready. Then I got the call that I was going to Ireland, and they were like, "Be ready in 4 days." As soon as I get there, I had like that day, and then I'm playing in the game the next day.
That's
So
tough.
it was definitely tough, especially following like a 7 hour flight. So yeah, I mean, I just jumped all in for that experience and that opportunity.
You get that call, you go to Ireland, and you ended up help leading them to a Irish Cup, right?
Hmm.
And then I seen that in the semifinal game, you scored 34 points.
I actually had another American teammate, Chanel. She's from New York, and she played in a similar conference. So Rhode Island, she was in the A10. But when I got there, she was just like, "Hey, like this is our goal.
Mhm.
We want to win." The team I played for was Colester. I don't think they won a cup final since like 2019. Throughout my journey, I kind of like progressed, and I kind of wanted to put it all together,
Mhm.
playing professionally, and I wanted to prove to myself that like even though I didn't average the best, like my numbers were average. They weren't super high throughout college, but I knew like I was capable of doing
Mhm.
that. And yeah, so I kind of just bought into that, bought into myself. And I feel like every day we were in the gym. I was in the gym every day, whether we had practice with our team or whether it was just me and Chanel,
Mhm.
just in the gym shooting for hours because we just knew what we came there to do. And we knew that we wanted to win as rookies.
Was it a game that you just was like, it was an out of body experience? You was killing. It was one of your favorite games. Do you have a game like that?
Yeah, I definitely do have a couple of games like that, especially that semi
Mhm.
cup final game that you were talking about. That team actually, Waterford, that we played, they beat us twice
Ooh.
before that semifinal. So everybody was like, "Oh, there's no way Lester's gonna win," and they actually beat us once by like one, I think, and then
Mhm.
the other time, I think it was by like four. But there
Okay.
were games that were winnable that we should have won. And kind of then I just knew like we're not going home. Like
Mhm.
we're not gonna go back. We're not gonna say like, oh, we could have done this, we could have beat them. Because every time we did say that, but I wanted to beat them.
Mhm.
So and then we had a lot of different things. Some people got sick. Our other American, she got a little hurt, but kind of, I don't know, it just, something just stepped up in me and like just woke up in me. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to do whatever I have to do
Mhm.
to get us to win and get us to this cup final because that's really like, that's the goal. That's what we've been aiming for this whole season. So, yeah, I definitely feel like I wouldn't say it's like out of body experience because I definitely knew I was capable of it,
Right.
but it definitely was a great moment, not only for me, but for my team as well.
And you took it personal.
Yeah, I definitely took it personal because
Yeah.
the other girl on the team was definitely talking trash last
Mhm.
time they won. So I was like, there's no way we're going home today.
What about a player? Is it a player that was hyped up, or that was great, that was good, or whatever, and you just gave him the business?
The championship game. She's an amazing player, amazing Irish player, plays on the Irish team. But everybody loved Claire. Like
Claire.
everybody, that's all people talked about. No matter how many wins like another team would have or who beat them, it was just like, oh, Claire, like we'll come back the next time. Like they should have won, like all this and that. So
Claire, what? By the way, I'm sorry.
Claire Milia, I
Okay.
believe. She's a great player and definitely it was an honor to play against her. But given her talents, that's somebody that I definitely wanted to be.
Mhm.
And she's a little bit like I would say she's a 4 or 5. So they put her on me in our cup final game. And I kind of took that personal. Like, I'm
Mhm.
a lot faster than Claire. Like, like you guys are going to put this match, or like, but I'm like, all right. And then I just kind of took that personal and just did what I had to do.
Oh yeah. What was the numbers?
I would say the numbers were 26,
Mm.
and I think I might have had 14 rebounds.
Mm. Whose story would you like to see on Built from Nothing?
Jasmine Dickey, I got a chance to play with her. I think Jasmine, an amazing person. I love Jasmine. But kind of just where she came from, playing at Catonsville in high school, and then just her journey throughout the University of Delaware. Like, I was able to watch her journey, like when I sat out, even before I went to Delaware, just because Jasmine and I were friends, I kind of watched her throughout her freshman year as well, and just kind of seeing like how she's like excelled and everything, and kind of like even this year, like they had a lot of top recruits go to Dallas Wings, and Jasmine's like, she was determined. The coach was talking about Jasmine made it impossible for us to cut her. Like, there were so many amazing players getting cut this year, but Jasmine, a girl from Baltimore, like, I think her story would be amazing, and I think she definitely has a lot of like insight to share with young women basketball players.
Chyna, I wanna thank you for coming on the show, and like I said, we just wanted to give you your flowers.
Thank you.
No problem. That's another episode. We get up with y'all later.